Hi, my name's Kim Page. Today I want to talk to you about doom and gloom. And what I mean by that is so many different teachers and different people in the world are always talking about something going to happen or some kind of an event which we're all going to be killed or something to worry about or something you don't understand. And I've warned these people over and over again, leave them alone, leave these people alone, leave you alone, because I've seen thousands of people that are so scared, that are moving all the time from one place to the other, that thinks it's safe or afraid of 2012 and what it's going to do. And I had one young lady, and I was working with her, and she was so afraid of that, 2012, she wouldn't do anything for the last 2 years before 2012 because she knew she was going to die and it was all going to be over, so why bother? Do you understand how this has no positive effect? You know, if tomorrow we die, that's fine. I know where I'm going. I understand what's going to happen to me. I understand what's going to happen to us. And it'll be another reality, another part of the adventure of life. Now, when I first started my spiritual evolution, I guess you would call it, I asked, what was the difference between the spirit and the soul? That's what started this whole thing, the spirit and the soul. So what is the spirit? We are. What is the soul? The higher part of us, or the creative part of us. And until we completely love the spirit, we'll never connect to the soul completely. And you've heard every kind of thing about heart and soul, heart and soul, heart and soul. Somebody knows this, but they haven't put it together. It is the combination. So when I first started, again, my biggest fear was death. So the only way I could understand how to do this, because I just lost two people in my family that died, and just died quickly, and I just was really angry at death, and I wanted to be able to embrace it. So I joined, or I became a part of the hospice, and I worked with different people. And you know, the first time that the nurse called me up and said, we need you to go over and to help Leslie, and it doesn't matter the name because it's so many thousands of years ago, it doesn't matter. And she was a young lady. She was about 43 years old, and she was dying of cancer, and she was sending her home from the hospital, and she was so afraid that she couldn't sleep. So there, I, of course, said I would do help with visualizations and help to people to understand. And when I went there, now this is, you've never heard this before anywhere, what I'm about to tell you. So if you don't believe it, fine. All I say is it was a major turning point for me. Remember I told you sometimes we have to change. We're going down this path and all of a sudden this path opens up. That was what this was about. And so I went there one evening, and she was in a hospital bed in the living room, you know, very comfortable. And she was on morphine. And she could barely speak because she was getting ready to die. And she was just barely whispering. And I said, and she said, I just want to know why I got cancer. She was a good woman. She had gone to church. She had a good family. She never did anything bad. And she didn't understand it. She didn't understand was this punishment for something she did. So she asked me. And so at that time, I had taken some classes, and I thought that everybody had an entity or a disincarnated spirit or something. This is back in the early 80s, okay? This is before anything was written about this. So I was just exploring and understanding. So I said to her, I want to speak to this being inside you. If it could speak to me, what would it say? And I'm telling you the truth, okay? Whether you believe me or not, the truth. This voice came out of her, which she could barely speak, and it said, what do you want? And it scared me to death. I had goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now. Because where in the heck did that come from? And so I asked the question, who are you? And you know what she said? I'm cancer. Okay, now she's still thinking it must be a being or something. I said, how long have you been with her? He said, 9 times. And who are you? I'm cancer. What would you ask? What would you ask if you were talking to cancer? Simple. Where do you live? Because I certainly don't want to live by cancer. And it said 30,000 feet. That's it. Where did this come from? What part of our mind did this come from? What was this kind of energy? And it set me on a path to find out. And that's the whole basis of my work. The one time that I went to understand death, and it took me to another whole reality. Now, if I wasn't ready to release this reality, I couldn't have gone to the next. Is that correct? I had to, because this reality just dissolved. So this doom and gloom, you don't have to worry about doom and gloom. You just have to take care of the basics. You have to take care of all the karmic and the energetics that we have with war, and all the energetics with doom and gloom around hunger or sickness or disasters or religion that's in your DNA. All the places that your culture came from and where you came from and the way your mother was treated and your father was treated. All those things is what you have to deal with. And that is enough. For you to have to worry about something outwardly going to get you is just more than we can handle. The world is scary enough. We have to let go of those fears and find a safe place within ourselves. So please, please consider when somebody says something that's scary, it's just there. If you get scared, they got your energy. If you give them energy or give that feeling, they take it. Not on purpose, not intentional. It's just they're used to it. They're addicted to it. Do you think people are addicted to energy? Do you think when they sense it, they pick it up? They loop with it? So it's a really, really bigger picture. And it's just something I've asked different people I've taught with. You don't have to bring it up. You don't have to bring up scary aliens or scary this or scary that, because we're already trying to balance a world that's scary enough, right? If I watch the news, it's scary out there. So just do the things that make you happy. Do your clearing techniques and understand. If you have a fear, try to get yourself in a place that you can be around it. And if you really get scared, you can leave, okay, without being hurt. And the more you're around this, the more you volunteer for something, by you working with these people, you'll get a different insight about that. So please, if you have any questions about this, go to our website, Ken Page, look up the search bar. You can ask any question and we'll give you all the answers. And it's important that we give you all the answers. Why? Because if we withhold one single thing from you, I am disconnected from higher self. Do you understand that? I'm telling you, the people you've learned from don't understand that because they withhold. And every week you go, they give you a little piece. And they give you another little piece, another little piece. But you know, we try to teach everything we know, and if you don't want to learn it, it just disappears. But it's there, and it's written, and someday you might get it. Maybe a year from now or a month from now, you'll say, oh, I know what that guy said. I'm going to look it up. And that's what our whole website's about. So I hope you have a good day. Thank you.